Flower Power. It was Halloween night on the island of Sodor. The moon shone brightly, and the stars twinkled in the night sky. The children's Halloween party was over. But while the children slept, all the engines were kept very busy. Thomas was alone at Tidmouth Sheds when Sir Topham Hatt arrived. He was still in his Halloween costume. He boomed. He added sternly. Thomas didn't want to work with Diesel, but he wanted to be really useful. When Thomas arrived at Brendam, he couldn't see Diesel at all. Diesel was up to his old tricks. He rolled up behind Thomas and went, said Thomas firmly. Oiled Diesel. Thomas and Diesel headed for the flour mill. Diesel teased Thomas with every click and every clack. When they arrived at the woods, Diesel cried, and he called out in a spooky voice. Said Thomas crossly. But the breeze blew and the branches creaked. Diesel's teasing made it seem very spooky indeed. Then they came to the abandoned mine. The buildings were deserted, but they could hear a banging noise. Gasped Thomas. Sneered Diesel. Said Thomas, but he wished he was as brave as he sounded. Thomas and Diesel had to stop at a signal. It was next to a twisty old tree. The wind whistled and Thomas heard a strange cry. Suddenly, Thomas felt something touch his tender. Cried Diesel. Gasped Thomas, and he let out a frightened peep. Diesel teased. Thomas was very cross with Diesel. He wanted to pay him back for all his teasing. Thomas and Diesel arrived at the flour mill. Thomas rolled up to collect the flour. Then Thomas had an idea. He puffed. Thomas biffed the freight cars out of the way and rolled up under the chute himself. When Thomas puffed out the other side, he was covered from dome to buffer in pure white flour. He said spookily. Cried Diesel. Cried Thomas. But Diesel was nowhere to be seen. After Diesel had gone, the mill seemed very quiet. But there was still work to do, thought Thomas. Thomas shunted all of the freight cars into one long line, and he set off for the bakery all alone. As Thomas arrived at the twisty tree, he wished he could go faster, but it was a very long train, and he had to go slowly. Because he was going so slowly, Thomas could see that the tree really wasn't spooky at all. He gasped. Thomas was relieved. Thomas chugged towards the abandoned mine. He could still hear the spooky banging. He looked to his left and then to his right, and he saw what was making the noise. He gasped. Finally, Thomas reached the old woods. The breeze still blew, and the branches creaked. Thomas took a big, brave puff. But without Diesel's teasing, Thomas could see the haunted forest was actually Henry's favorite forest. Said Thomas. Thomas arrived at the bakery. He was tired, but happy. Diesel told Sir Topham Hatt. Boom, Sir Topham Hatt, said Sir Topham Hatt. Puffed Thomas proudly. And while Sir Topham Hatt waited for the first batch of English muffins, Thomas looked forward to telling his friends his Diesel Halloween story.